Good morning, everyone. How is everyone today? Okay, we're gonna hit the bank select in 8 and find 000 and alright, and perfect, and boom, and we have a phone call. WVBF. Huh? WVBF.
Is Joey Driscoll there?
Yep.
This is Steve O'Brien.
Hey, Steve. How are you?
Good. How are you, Joey?
I'm doing well.
Good. Good. How's everything?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good. Good. So up for this thing today?
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna do the interview. I cannot play any music today. I talked to the boss, and he said that out of an abundance of caution, since we don't have the license, can't play any music today.
Yeah, that's fine, man.
Hey Steve, it's Dawn. How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Not bad, not bad. How's things going? Good.
Good. Good.
I really,
Breakfast beer, and
yeah, I hear you. I appreciate you. I appreciate that you called and give us the time. That's awesome. I love the new CD. That brings back.
Good. Why do you like it?
Yeah, that brings back memories, man. You spent a lot of time at Wallaston Theater, stuck to the floors. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was kind of why we came up with it, because all five of us had been there as kids separately before we met each other.
Is all the band members from Quincy? Every single one of them?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Is all the band members from Quincy? The whole gang?
Most of it is. We got one guy that, most of it is, and the sax player's from out of town.
Okay, sounds good.
But,
Awesome, nice. Yeah, no, that's a you got some stories behind the Canino story, Arthur Duffy and City Point. So maybe touch on the album, touch on your band. Maybe we can throw some Tom Waits into the mix, maybe.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I remember you got John O'Brien and the Tom Waits, and it took a while for me to warm up to Tom Waits. But you know what? Oh my God, he's unbelievable. He's the guy's.
Amazing writer.
Oh, he's an amazing writer. You know what I mean? Some of his songs,
I've
like.
only seen him a handful of times, but.
Oh, you did get to see him, huh? Nice.
Yeah. I saw, actually, the most recent time I saw him was over the JFK Library. He only played one song. It was for a Songwriters Award he was given with his wife.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he doesn't play live much anymore.
No. Did you see him before, like a full set?
Yeah, I saw him 2 nights in a row at the Orpheum. It was very intense.
Did he do chocolate cheeses with the bullhorn?
He did.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He did. He walked in through the back aisle with a megaphone. Everyone was looking at the stage, and all of a sudden he walked up behind everyone.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. You know what I mean? Hey, you ever got
An entrance like that.
you ever get into a band Hot Tuna before? You ever heard of those guys? Yomer
Yeah,
and
they're an offshoot of Jefferson Airplane.
Right. Have you ever seen?
Cassidy, German Cacao, and
Yeah, you ever see those guys before?
I've heard some of this stuff.
Yeah, no, it's really good. It's I think it'd be up your alley. You know what I mean? I know you're not really into the heaviest stuff, the Sabbaths and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
But I think you would have gotten to that. Me and Joey seen them a few times. We've seen them in Staten Island at the St. George Theater. You know.
And I love Airplane, so yeah. I mean, Jack Cassidy is one of the greatest bass players ever. He's just amazing.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Really amazing guy.
so how long we got, Joe, before we go on the air?
I got about 2.5 minutes or so.
Yeah, we'll keep doing the news and stuff.
Yeah.
But they're working on a music license here, and it should be here soon. So when it comes, we'll contact you, and if you want to call in and do some of your music, or you get a car or something like that, or you no?
Do I have a what?
Do you have a car? Do you have a car?
No, I'm sorry, I don't.
No, well, you know, if you want to come to the studio, I can come get you, and if you want to sit in on the studio on the whole hour, it's up to you.
Oh, that's all right. But, yeah, maybe we can do something like that.
You either come in or you can call in. We can play some of your songs. The only thing I got is this CD you sent me, and then I know whatever I can find on YouTube as far as the rest of your material.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the Wollaston Theater, we hold all the rights to that, so you guys can do whatever the heck you want because you have a busing, by the way.
Okay.
No,
All right. Yeah.
We're not BMI or ASCAP or anything.
Yeah. His boss is in the process of doing it, so he's just kind of actually his boss is a state senator, Massachusetts State Senator Mark Pacheco. So he's got to be really careful what he does as far as
Absolutely.
you know what I mean, because you know all the Jeff Cooners out there will be up his ass, right?
You gotta be safe, absolutely.
Yeah, so he's which is good because he's steering everything good right and stuff, and you know, so but that's awesome.
You'll learn the process.
Yeah, but I mean once we
program director of ERS back in the day.
oh you are right.
Chris was the guitar player for the Gypsies.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing I remember hearing that him playing some of the songs. Yeah, you got to be careful, but I think it's going to be sooner or later. So we'll once we have that, we'll. But I know you get a lot of airplay. Actually, on some of the.
Yeah, very luckily.
Yeah. So.
We're at number 6 on a popular garage rock station out in California, which is nice to hear. We just found that out yesterday.
Oh, that's awesome! And I heard you guys were on Little Steven's Underground Garage too a few years ago, right? They played What You Gonna Do?
We've been very fortunate on that. They because we love that station anyway. That's our kind of music, you know.
Yep.
And we've had about 4 or 5 songs on there over the years, which is really good for morale for a bunch of old fat guys from Southie.
Yeah. I think we're getting ready to go on the Steve.
Okay.
30 seconds.
Will these work?
Yeah, you can put them on, yeah.
Yeah, they don't work now. Will they work when they go on the air?
I think so. Yeah. I'm just gonna make sure it's turned up.
Okay.
Alright, we got about 15 seconds. I'm gonna do a quick weather report and then we're gonna have you on.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Middleboro in Review here on the 18th of April, 2021. Say good morning to Don.
Good morning, Joe. How you doing this beautiful
A little chilly but beautiful day here in Taunton, Massachusetts.
It's crisp and clean out there, and
Very beautiful out here today.
this is the kind of day you get out and get all your yard work done, and you rake your leaves and clean your gutters.
Absolutely, yes. It is a very good day to do so. So let's quickly do the weather. We have a guest on today, which we will introduce in just a minute. Weather today. 40 degrees currently in Middleboro, cloudy. I don't know if I would say it was cloudy this morning.
I don't see cloud in the sky.
Oh well.
I see one.
40 degrees. 60 for the high today. So that went up a degree since I last checked it. The high was supposed to be 59, but I guess it's going to be 60. 66 for the high tomorrow. 70 on Tuesday. So we're going to get into the 70s pretty soon.
That's going to wipe out the oil, huh?
Driscoll, North Dakota, 40 degrees as well. 40 degrees. Wow. 40 degrees currently in Driscoll, North Dakota. 43 for the high. So that is going to be interesting. 55 for the high in Driscoll, Texas. 69 today. 55 right now, currently 69 for the high. There we go. A little confused there. Rain in the forecast. Monday, 74. And Tuesday, 84. and there is 90 in the horizon for next weekend in Driscoll, Texas. And finally, Taunton, Massachusetts, where it's 41 currently, 61 for the high. And in Monday, the Monday forecast, 66 for the high. All right. So we have a guest on this morning. We're going to introduce him right now. His name is Steve O'Brien, the singer, the lead singer of the Gypsy Moths. Good morning, Steve. Okay, well, the first question we want to ask is, how are you doing this morning? Okay, so talk about the band. First off, when did you start the band, and how did it come to fruition?
Bass player who gradually recruited us one by one. We had all kind of hung it up for quite some time. And we played in high school and things of that nature, but gradually he kind of pulled us back together, and we started rehearsing together in the old basement in house in Boston.
So when was your first album recorded, and what was the process of that, and what were your thoughts on that process?
We got back together, like I said, in 2014, and we really rehearsed and tried to play a lot of shows. We talked about recording, but it's an expensive and intimidating process. You have to know what you want to get out of it before you start it. So it took a while, but and also finding the right studio, which is Ed Reamer's place in Canton. Beautiful studio with and Ed's an incredible engineer. So we did our first record there, which was all covers, just different odd R&B, rock and roll songs that we really liked from the 60s, 50s, and 70s for that matter. And yeah, kind of gradually got there to the point where we decided we had to start writing original material.
Steve, this is Don, Joey's dad.
Hey, Don.
I've known you a long time, just for years and years and years. And I remember when you first played at the Ruth Gordon Amphitheater. I might have played before that, but you, Pat, and who else? You, Pat, and
Andy Sharma.
yeah, right. Yeah, it's funny how you guys. So that was like the beginnings of it for you when you were really young. But you say you have a 9-piece band. What are the instruments that the band has? I mean, that 9-piece is big for these days. Usually it's 4-piece or 3-piece, but you get 9-piece band, correct?
Yeah, that's changed over the years. We've now we're back down to a 6-piece because it just became. We had a horn section, trombone and saxophone on the first record, plus guitar, bass, drums, keyboards, and vocalists, and it just became a little too big.
Right.
It was perfect for that record because that was the kind of material we did, but we wanted to strip it back to more of just a straight-up rock band. And we were able to find a great sax player for the second record named Scott Miller, who just came in and was amazing. Worked very well with us, and but generally speaking, we are back to being a 5-piece guitar, bass, drums, keyboards, vocals, old school 1960s rock and roll band style.
Right, right. Tell us about your new album, Waltz and Theater, and I know there's a few songs that were written, and one is a great song. It's called The Continuing Story of Arthur Duffy. Great song, and there's a bunch of other good songs on that. There's a story behind that song, correct?
There is. Arthur Duffy was my great uncle, who my father actually started to tell me the story in the 1980s, but it was a little bit by bit, piece by piece. Long story short is Arthur Duffy was a young person faced with supporting his mother and 3 sisters after his father passed away suddenly in the 1930s in Boston. And he eventually became a jewel thief, a very, very good jewel thief. He learned his craft, if you will, on how to identify rare stones and things of that nature at the Jewelers Building in Boston. And then took the show on the road and was working for the New York Syndicate and robbing jewelry stores all over the country.
Wow, I like, I really like the song on that, and you put a video together on that. Where do you get that footage? That was it's amazing how you work the videos or whatever. Is that like the official video, or is that something you just put together as far as the video that's out there? What is it?
Well, everything that we've all been through over the last year, COVID seriously limited what the band could do. So we never got a chance to play any of those songs to support the record live.
Right.
And that's also, there's only 4 songs. That was supposed to be a full-length album, but we had to make a decision to master it and put it out before lockdown. Otherwise, it would still be sitting on a shelf somewhere.
Oh, okay, right.
So the video was pulled together of public domain footage of an old gangster film that the title escapes my half-asleep mind right now.
Right.
But I was able to fit it together, and it synced nicely with the music.
Oh, sure.
So just in a way to promote all the songs, we've had to come up with some little videos and things like that to send overseas. And
right.
We played in Europe a few times, which was nice to hear and totally unexpected.
You guys did the same thing for What You Gonna Do When Your Baby Leaves You. I think I said that right, but you had another video there too, which was great.
I'm glad you like it. Yeah, that again, we try to build stuff out of old footage that's in public domain. That way, we're not in trouble or beholden to anyone.
Sure.
There's rights and laws. So, by using public domain footage, sometimes with a different soundtrack, it can take on a different life of itself.
Oh, without a doubt, it looked like it belonged there with that particular song. And
I'm glad you liked it.
And getting to that,
and that's a great old song.
Chuck Willis, correct? Wrote that song,
Yeah.
Right. Wow, that's a great song. That's I think that's a staple for you guys, because that's when you had the horn section. That was like a few years old, right?
It really loans itself to to horns. And there's many different kinds of. I've heard so many different versions of it since then. It's amazing.
Do you think maybe you guys started that? Because I was looking for a different. I listened to the original, went back to yours. I was like, okay, this has got a little bit more flair to the original. I mean, the original's always good too, though. I knocked the original. But then, like you said, I was looking on YouTube and I saw some other stuff. It's just like, then I always go back to yours because it's just electrifying. It's just, oh my God, it's just like through the roof. It's just so much energy, and it's.
I'm glad you like it. We try to take different, things we like out of other versions, and we really love the heavy keyboard sound. Our keyboard player Mark Donahue is a brilliant musician.
Right.
So we really told him to go to town and lean into it. He did just that.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, he sounds fantastic, and the guys on the horns were fantastic.
Right. No.
Yeah.
You were mentioning that some of your songs have gotten radio play. Tell us a little bit about that and what stations your songs were on.
What we've done when, again, we had to approach this whole thing rather differently due to COVID-19 and the lockdown and whatnot. So when we decided on just releasing these 4 songs, our guitar player, Chris Conway, sent them far and wide, to say the least. and we've gotten hits from Uruguay, France, Norway, Australia, Japan, Spain, England. England's been very good, luckily. Ireland, which meant a lot to the guys, and you know. So yeah, it's been very, 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 very good to see.
Yeah, right. I think I just think it's just a breath of fresh air, especially the album you sent me, and I appreciate you sending me that album. I know I got the message.
Oh, I'm glad. I was hoping you'd like it.
Oh, I really liked it. Another question, City Point. Okay, another song I really like. Can you just let's go through the songs and what they mean to you? I know Escapes Me. What were the other two songs? I should know them, but I've been listening to them. But the City Point, there's the Continuing Story of Arthur. What are the other two songs that you have on that album? Or the
there's Can't Go Home,
yeah,
which is Can't Go Home is a song. I kind of wrote the lyrics. We all write everything together, and Can't Go Home is pretty much about skipping school in high school, which is, you know, not a very grown up, but when you look back on those days, they were fun, you know?
I think I might have bumped into you to it when I think we're about the same age. I think we all might have bumped into each other.
I think we did. We did.
I think we, you know, you got the whole gang, and you know, you think of all the people, all our friends that we grew up with, and everybody. So, you know, I was thinking about myself. I was thinking about my good friend Patrick and John O'Brien and Patrick Hussey and Kevin Wynn and all those people that I grew up with. It was just a collaboration of friends. So it was a heartfelt song. So I think it was about that. You know what I mean? Listen to the lyrics.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And we name checked our good friend Kenny Mann at the time, who was a bit of a raconteur. He would convince us to skip, and we would merrily go along. And we recently lost him, so
yes,
he is definitely in that memory.
He grew up in Walston near the school, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's funny about Kenny Mann? It's funny. I when I was younger, okay, I went to Walston School, okay, and every morning I used to go to Kenny Mann's house and watch Star Blazers. Me and Kenny used to watch Star Blazers, and in 5 minutes of 8 we used to run across. But we did it for years. I did it I showed up at Kenny Mann's house at like 5 minutes of 7. Or, no, it was like 7:25 because Star Blazers on between 7:30 and 8. So that was a great memory. I remember that with Kenny. Actually, I drove by that house. I worked for an oil company. I drove right by the house the other day, and I was like, I remember the house, and I remember the memories.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, Kenny was a very important guy to us.
Yeah.
He's one of absolutely the first electric guitar I ever saw.
Right.
And yeah, he was just such a good musician and things like that. And eventually it got us into playing also, so.
Yes. And moving on to the next song, we talked about the Continuing Story of Arthur Duffy, City Point, and the other song. Can you explain what was you thinking on those songs?
The lead track is called Days Will Run,
okay,
which we actually opened with when we played the St. Patty's Day Parade on the back of a truck, which was very intimidating.
I saw that. That was 2019 you did that, right? Or 18 or something? Yeah, right.
But it was basically about how fast time can go by, and you know, you might have a very, very bad day on a Tuesday, but you never know what's going to happen on a Wednesday.
Right. Oh,
so
sure. Right.
It's one of those kind of hang in there kind of songs.
Yeah, sure.
You know, just when you think it's all going down, sometimes it can go up.
Yeah, the next day can be wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's something I think we all need to keep in mind, given the events of the last year.
Sure, without a doubt. And I think we try to pull it all together. I mean, Joey's been doing the show for 2 years, and it was his idea too. He pushed the food pantry as far as.
That's fantastic.
It was, so we do commercials. He actually has a couple of commercials and whatnot, and you'll probably hear him because we're gonna have you on a little longer if you don't mind.
No, that's fantastic.
One more thing too. This is what I really wanted to ask you. City Point. What's your was he just singing about South Boston City Point, or was there a message to that song or something?
Yeah, it was kind of sometimes you try to write and you can't find anything, and then sometimes you find a story or you hear something. And in this case, I heard a young person talking at work about. So I work in Boston, and this young man was talking about how his girlfriend had recently left him after they purchased a condo and got a little dog that they loved, and they were very, very happy. And she got a job in Los Angeles and left. And it struck me as modern blues, if you will.
Sure.
And this kid wound up just him and his dog strolling around Castle Island in the rain, if you will. And it's modern blues. It's a broken heart story, but it struck me as, wow, this is something that's going on with everyone's lives at different times. And he's in his 20s, and he's about to go through the process, if you will. So I kind of adapted the lyrics from what I heard him say.
That's funny too, because it's you mentioned City Point, and my father-in-law grew up in Peachtree, I think Peachtree. So I mean, he tells me a lot of stories. I think he was the only Canadian French in South Boston, but his father had a barber shop, and my father worked for White Fuel. So I was there a lot with Ethel and Andy's. Remember that place? It's still there, right?
Yeah.
And then the Powerhouse Pub. I think that's gone. So
Right.
I mean, just hearing that, because that's a really big part of my life as far as coming in and out with my father and my father-in-law's. And I spent a little time there with his father. So it's just hearing that. But I mean, I did sense it was kind of a sad song. But like you said, it's modern day blues.
When you're a kid, it's ice cream at Castle Island, right?
Right, or Sullivan's hot dog, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And then you see so many couples walking up and down on a especially a spring night, like we're about to start having.
Sure.
And there's a lot of happily ever after, but sometimes it doesn't always go that way.
Yeah, without a doubt. But Joey, we gotta take a break. Steve, you can stay on as long as you want. It's up to you. You can stay. We can go off and on. Joey has a few things he's got to do as commercial. Talk about a little bit in Middleboro. But I mean, if you want to stay on and be part of the discussion and maybe help us with our show, that'd be great. Great, thank you.
All right, we have a commercial to do here. We'll come back. We'll talk to Steve a little more. We have a couple more questions to ask. We will talk about blood drives in Halifax. We're going to talk about sports as well. New England Revolution just had their opening day match. So we're going to talk about that as well. So we will be right back. We're going to take a commercial break, and we will talk to you after the commercial. All right, commercial break.
Ugh.
403. Bam. All right. Good morning, Mike. How are you? We are talking to Steve O'Brien, the lead vocalist of the Gypsy Moths this morning. Good morning to everyone that is tuning in on the Facebook. to enter. Oh, 7 and 9. Okay. Got one more commercial here. Got about 1 minute. We got 30 seconds. You still on?
You doing Aronimals
Steve, are you still on?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You doing Aronimals next hour?
Next,
Alright.
yeah, next break. Yes. All right. All right. Put that back up there. Okay. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. We are back on, and we are on with Steve O'Brien, the lead vocalist of the Gypsy Moths. So we're going to do another question here pertaining to concerts, live performances. What are some of your best memories with live performances?
Just standard local pub, which we've done plenty of. But we rented a boat one summer. That was a good time. Just played, rolling around Boston Harbor to, 50 of our friends, which was a good time. The St. Patrick's Day parade was by far the strangest, I think. There was 1 million people in South Boston that day, and they're all around the route. We played for 3 hours straight. That was pretty intense.
I saw the footage on Facebook, and it's just a rolling loop as far as going around. Were you playing the same song, or playing one song? Obviously, were you playing the same song over, or did you be playing 4 songs, or playing a whole set?
We did two hour and 15-minute sets.
Oh.
We just ran through our usual,
Okay.
and then we ran back through it one more time because we were constantly moving.
Okay, yeah.
Our guitar player, Chris Conway, got thrown through a drum set at one point when the truck took a sharp lurch.
Oh, boy.
But,
Yeah.
It was the strangest thing because, it's uphill, downhill, Southie.
Whose idea was that? That was a brilliant idea. I mean, you see floats, but you really don't see rolling bands. So technically, Gypsy Moths might be a staple of South Boston. Is that what you guys are looking for? It seems like it. I mean, with the Facebook is such a good tool these days because you use it to promote your band. Actually, Joey uses it to promote his show. So,
Sure.
Is that something? Would you consider this Gypsy Moths like a staple of South Boston? Would you call it a South Boston band? Being a staple?
In a way, yeah, because we do. We live here. We rehearse here.
Right.
The guys are scattered around the South Shore, but the music that we make is all rehearsed and done in the South Boston. So yeah, I guess we could consider ourselves a South Boston band.
And you, as the vocalist, you live in South Boston, correct?
Yes.
So I mean, you got some roots there. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that was, like I said, that was a pretty intense day. It was luckily we had good weather. But it took a lot to pull it together and get it into the air, if you will. But we managed to do it. Hopefully we'll do it again someday.
Yeah.
Obviously, the way things are going, we didn't do it, obviously, this year because it just didn't happen. And last year, we looked around a little bit to get a truck, but we were in the middle of mastering the Walston Theater record, so that took priority.
Yeah, and that ended up getting canceled last year too. So I mean, it was kind of cool that you didn't put all your ducks in a row, because I know that's something you got to start like almost 6 months, a year before to get the ball rolling. You know, get the truck and get yourself a spot in the parade. But I was watching that footage and I was like, hey, I mean, talk about exposure. I mean,
yeah, the crowds were overwhelming, and there were kind of news cameras, but it was nice. Like I said, we opened with a new song, an original, one of our first, and to see people, 12 deep dancing to a song that they've never heard before was a real rush for us. That was intense.
I think music does that for everybody.
Yeah, it was, and people were having a great time, and that's what it's all about. That's why we love playing music.
Yeah, when it comes to events like that, like you said, it took a long time to get it together. We have events here locally in Middleboro and in Taunton that when they happen, the minute they're over, they start planning for the next one. Middleboro has Crazy Days, which they plan, like I said, a year in advance.
Yeah, you have to. There's so much logistics involved and safety and whatnot. You have to have it together.
Right. Have you ever been out this way, Middleboro? You know this Taunton, Middleboro area at all?
Geez, it's been a long time, but I think I've been out there.
Yeah.
We worked with a musician some years ago, a saxophone player who's from there.
Okay, right, yeah.
Taunton.
Right. Yep. There's a lot going on here. It's this radio station serves Middleboro and Taunton, and Joey's show is Middleboro in Review, and we talk about a lot of happenings in pretty much Middleboro, Taunton, and the surrounding areas. So, please give us a second here. You got something about the blood drive, Steve?
Yeah, so we have a blood drive coming up in Halifax, which is a neighboring town of Middleboro. Live about 10 minutes away from there. Due to the need for blood donations during the pandemic, and also the need of blood drives outside the pandemic, and because the town's previous blood drives in 2020 have gone so well, the town of Halifax is sponsoring additional Red Cross blood drives in the Great Hall of the Halifax Town Hall at 499 Plymouth Street, Halifax 02338 on the following dates. The April 9th one has already happened. The next one, Friday, June 4th. Then there will be one Friday, August 6th, Friday, October 15th, and Friday, November the 19th, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And to request an appointment, visit redcrossblood.org, type in 02338, and make an appointment for a convenient time.
I also want to give everyone an update on the Route 44 bridge going over 24. They've been working on that. It looks like they're doing the hydroseeding now, as far as the islands. They're working on the curving. So I assume at any point there's going to be some signs for paving, because they're going to do the last bit of paving and do all the lines, the arrows and lines and all that good. Maybe we'll get some nice new reflectors, huh? Like they did on 44. That would be good when that's 100%. Then it won't be no confusion as far as the lanes. The kind of lanes are kind of shattered a little bit. If you go east, you don't want to get too far in the right-hand lane, because you're forced to take that right. I'm not sure what's a Phillip Street or something. I'm not too sure the name of that street, but if you want to continue. But I figure after the lanes are all taken care of, and there will be no no confusion as far as that. So I think that's going to be happening soon. We're in paving time, so I think it's only a matter of time before they wrap that up. But they're doing the and also too, my ranting about the tea. Remember, Joe, all that ranting?
The tea. Yes, the tea.
I remember Reverend Ortiz was saying you went off, but I do notice on the Kingston line, the Greenbush line, mostly. I'm not sure about the Middleboro line. They've cut down the carriages down to four double stacks. So they're not, they usually have 6 or 7. So they're knocking a couple carriages down, so they're not running all that equipment for. And so that's good. So maybe someone got the memo or someone's listening to the show, one or the other, right, Joe?
Yeah, we always talk about the MBTA, and it's important to get that information out when something big happens with the MBTA, like the Green Line. That's the big thing going on right now. The project that's going on with the Green Line. That's a big thing going on currently as well. We'll have some more information about that in the future.
And the Orange Line cars, saying
the Orange Line cars, yes.
We can't use.
We like to talk about Amtrak as well. Amtrak is doing some good things right now when it comes to expansion.
Well, this is the time with Joe Biden in office. This Amtrak's really got to grow now with President Biden in office because they don't call him Amtrak Joe for nothing, right?
I want to ask a question of Steve. What is some of your experiences with, if you have ridden the MBTA, what is your experience with that?
Well, we grew up in the T. In Quincy, one of the things we would do very often is leave school a little bit early and go into Kenmore Square via the red and green lines to go record shopping.
Tower Records.
Back in the day, there were all these great used record stores in Kenmore Square, like Nuggets, Atlanta Records,
and Tower Records too.
And yeah, and that's really we were young and we were in love with rock and roll, and you could get a stack of albums for $11, which is about all we had at the time.
I remember Kevin Wynn brought you. I'm not sure if you have them, but I think you gave me a thank you, and I always got to throw them out. But I found these old 45s and old 78s, and Kevin Wynn brought them to you, maybe 4 years ago.
Yeah, a bunch of those. I still have some of them, yeah. A couple of the guys from the band actually grabbed 1 or 2 that I had duplicates of, so.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good because...
Thank you for that.
Yeah, I do like cleanouts and removals and stuff like that, so...
Yeah.
Kevin was with me. He says, who would want those? Is Steve O'Brien. I says, oh, okay, bring them to him. And I think he cleaned them up. And I think you took a couple of pictures of them all cleaned up. I'm not even sure what bands they were. I think there was some little everything, a little jazz, a little bit whatnot. But
yeah, they were great. There's some 78s there too. I collect everything I can. I love old 78s, old 45s, 33s, everything.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
Some real history, and it's getting lost in the digital age.
Oh, without a doubt, yes.
Yeah, so it's, my wife is wonderful and very patient with me, and
I bet.
Move all my toys down to the basement, if you will, all my old record players and whatnot.
Yeah, I've seen a couple because you play a couple songs on some of your featured record players, and some look like the Barbie doll one. You know what I mean? It's just like it did a crazy '60s color. I mean, that's what everyone did. They got their records and they all hung around, and the kids hung around the record player, and that's what they
did. That's how pop music moved. Kids go out to parties, and you heard songs you never heard before, and you saw records.
Right. Yeah.
So you guys got to come down the house someday. We've got a little studio in the back where the band rehearses, and a little office up front. And,
Sure. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun because I played in a band for a few years, and we had fun doing it. And it's funny about writing because I wrote a couple songs. I'm better writing poetry than I am writing songs, and I was some of the songs I wrote were kind of, I don't know, they were just sort of a set way. I'm not sure if you can relate. It was just a kind of almost like parody songs to a point. I don't know why I was writing that way at first, but the songs worked. And then when I started writing, doing some writing poetry, they were totally different than, say, my songwriting style. So it's weird how you write. Now I was writing up a storm, and now I can't. Good luck writing anything now. I got writer's block. So it's weird how writing
That
songs.
happens. No, when I was talking earlier about City Point, the reason why I wrote about the young person at work was because I just, we've written so many songs over the years, and sometimes you need something outside of your environment to kind of inspire you to write, and that was the case. It was just like, oh, that's kind of interesting, and then that kind of re-sparks everything. So yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. And parody songs on your kid, that's just fun stuff,
Yeah, I mean, you could be. It's nothing mean because I don't have a mean part in my heart. You know what I mean? I'm really good I'm really good to everybody, but it's just
Funny.
yeah, it's just funny kind of. You kind of have to have a sense of humor, and I think that's starting to go out the window a lot with a lot of people. A lot of people getting too offended and whatnot, and it's really just good fun. But I'm gonna have Joey read something because I think it was my best writing ever, and we did put this to a song. It was funny because all the poetry I write I could never put to a song. We finally put this together. It was like pulling teeth to do it, and it's just like so frustrating. But I'm gonna have Joey read this, and I don't know, maybe you could do something with it. I don't know, but I'm gonna have Joey read. You read that before, right, Joey?
Yes, I have. All right. Golden Sunfish. Am I supposed to say it twice? It has
that's
twice
the name
on
of
here.
it. That's the name.
Oh, okay.
And,
I was want to make sure. Golden Sunfish. Race across the sea. You're in your zone. This is your place to be. Release your worries and silence your mind. You're sailing again. This is your time. Golden Sunfish. You're running fast. Going to do it your way. No need to ask. You run it strong. You run it through. The time out there is all for you. Golden Sunfish. You're a touch of class. Strength to others. Pat yourself on the back. You go with laughter. You go with style. Just to stay out there makes it all worthwhile. Golden Sunfish. You're one with the sea. Is this everything you dreamed it would be? To heal your soul and lift your sorrows, it's good to be alive. I'll go sailing tomorrow.
And I think I wrote that around 2017, but now I can't. I'm lucky if I can write my name now, Steve. So it's weird.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah.
Yeah. It was inspiration about maybe somebody I knew was. Well, it's not a particular person. It's maybe a group of people about people. I don't know. Maybe some people who are feeling bad, and sailing is their only outlet to make them feel better. I mean, if they go out sailing, they're doing good, and they come back to reality, and things are terrible again. So it's just sometimes you pick up on stuff like that. So that's the whole idea of the songwriting process. And it's weird. It's just you can't put your thumb on it because I wrote a bunch of stuff like within like 2 years, and all of a sudden, like I said, I'm lucky I can write anything now. I mean. Maybe.
No, I completely agree and understand what you're saying. I definitely went through the same thing. That's actually, to say the least, we were not doing anything. We weren't playing, we weren't writing or anything. And when we started up, we decided that the first record would be, just songs we liked to get ourselves into the groove again, if you will.
Sure.
If you really look at the first Rolling Stones album is all covers. The first Beatles album is half covers.
Right.
A fair amount of Led Zeppelin's first record is all blues standards. You need that step to step up. And
sure.
And writing songs and music is difficult because you tend to second guess yourself. And luckily we've got like I said, a really good bunch of guys, Chris Conway, Mark Donahue, Matt Michelli, Phil Thompson. We all collaborate ideas and, write down to lyrics too. So all five of us write the material.
Sure.
And, it's a real collaboration because we need each other. We need each other to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because what you do is together. That's most important. It's not a lone wolf thing. But Joey Choice, we can take one more commercial and we can wrap up the interview after that. I got a couple more questions I want to ask you as well as the future of the Gypsy Moss and where you think you can be going. And I know it's hard to say when you can start touring again and playing, but is there any kind of indication? But we'll talk to you at the end of the break on that, Steve.
All right, we're going to have a commercial break, and we'll be right back with Steve O'Brien. And we're also going to have the Today in History as well. We got a lot of Today in Histories. I have like 5 of them that I can see here. A lot. So we'll be right back with Steve, and you're listening to Middleboro Review on WVBF 1530 AM and 99.7 FM. I was gonna do sports, but I don't got time to do it today, so we will do it next week. Not much going on anyway. No, Red Sox are in their early season. New England Revolution just started. Bruins aren't done yet. They got
talking to
I
each
think a
other,
month
Steve.
left. You and everyone else who is on the Facebook here.
Oh.
And everyone else who was on the Facebook here as well. We were going to talk about some sports today, but not a lot going on, so we'll wait a week for it. Yeah, we'll have time for one last question. The question about, what's going to go
Yeah, I'll
what's
ask
gonna
you one
happen
question and then
in the future.
we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, because I have the same histories
Well,
as
just
well.
wrap up the show and then whatever. If he wants to stay on, he can stay on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Enjoying the discussion. He's a good guest, good questions. Thank you, Mike. All right. Today is Dad.
What?
Today is Yankee Stadium's 98th birthday.
What?
Today is Yankee Stadium's 98th
Oh.
birthday.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right. 45 seconds. Yankees. Yankee Stadium is relatively new, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's gotten renovations. But Yankee Stadium,
No, they rebuilt it.
they rebuilt it.
They probably talk about the old one.
Yeah, I'm talking
I'm
about
not sure if
the
they
old
knocked
one.
it down or not. Did they?
I'm talking about the old one. I don't
Yeah.
know if they. I have no idea. I've never heard that they knocked it down or whatever, or re-renovated it. I don't even know. I guess I'm talking about the original one. I wasn't sure if it had even got knocked down, or if it was the original.
Which time we got?
I don't know. 5 minutes.
I'll make the question until you do your. All right.
Yep, very quick. Yep. We have the today in history.
You might have to cut some of those short. Those.
I can do them quick.
No.
I can do them quick. All right. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we are back here on Middleboro in Review, and we are here with Steve O'Brien, and we have one more question. I'm going to flip it over to Don to ask that question.
Steve, I do want to thank you for spending the time with us. It's great. And I know your band will be making it. I can tell by the attitude you guys have that you guys will do well. And what do you think you have? What do you think as far as future endeavors, as far as your band, as far as Gypsy Moths? I know you don't know about any concerts or any shows right now because of what's going on, but now the vaccinations are going and it seems like things are opening up. Do you have any idea? You've been planning a little bit as far as playing?
I don't know. It's tough. We talk about this all the time because the band itself hasn't played in a year, but we're all really good friends, so we talk constantly about how to restart it. Right now, local music is really suffering, so it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be interesting to see who comes out on the other side and what that looks and sounds like. Bands are playing, I believe, up in New Hampshire and Maine and Rhode Island, but it hasn't really come back into Massachusetts yet. So,
right. I mean, with
we're
the
looking to do some more outdoorsy kind of stuff and just see where that takes us.
we're going into the summer anyway, so that's I don't know. Maybe we can have a reunion at the Ruth Gordon Amphitheater. We got some memories in Quincy.
That would be good. Yeah, there's, a lot of local towns have these great little outdoor bandstands that I think are underused, if you know what I mean. I'd love to see more live music outdoors around Massachusetts this summer.
Well, Middleboro's always had that. They had concerts on the green in front of the town hall. And Joey works for MadCam. He has some AV experience too, filming. Right, Joe? Yeah.
That's great.
Yes.
So, but that'll get all shut down because of the COVID, and hopefully he'll start that back up. He's going to Massasoit for that. But also, too, there's a place in Bridgewater called The Alley, and they do stuff like that. But it's kind of a tough question, but it's just a question that would be asked because I know weekly things are changing as far as opening up. So, I mean, we could be talking a whole different tune in a month from now in May.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. I think everybody's had just about enough after this last year.
Yeah, I mean,
we've still been writing and recording, and we're looking to go back into the studio probably in November to start whatever the next record is going to be called.
Right. And you got writer's block on that, or you got some stuff pretty much down for that album, or?
Yeah, actually, it's one thing about being trapped at home is, you kind of have to entertain yourself. So there's been a lot of great ideas coming in from the guys and different things, and we do scratch tapes and recordings and send them back and forth. And,
right.
But yeah, so we're just we're prepared to be a studio band for a while because nothing live is happening, but hopefully we can get back out and play live again. We're hoping to play together for the first time in a year next month. Yeah,
well, everyone's chomping at the bit to get out, every band like that. Joey's going to do his year in history. I hope he can stay on even after the show. We can just talk about a few things. If you don't mind, you're staying on. He's got to wrap up the show, and I thank you very much, Joey.
Yes, we want to thank you again for calling in today and staying on with us for the whole show. We have today in history to do really fast. 1506, the cornerstone of the current St. Peter's Basilica is laid. 1689, Bostonians rise up in rebellion against Sir Edmund Andros. In 1775, the British advancement by sea begins. Paul Revere and other riders warn the countryside of troop movements. In 1923, and I want to thank Scott on Facebook for pointing this out to me. The original Yankee Stadium opens. The original Yankee Stadium is no longer around. It was knocked down. And the new one opened up in 2006. 1930, the BBC announced that there is no news in their evening report. And in 1999, Wayne Gretzky, the National Hockey League all-time point scorer, plays his final game at Madison Square Garden as a teammate of the New York Rangers in a 2-1 overtime loss to the Pittsburgh Penguins. He recorded 2,857 points in his career. Birthdays on this day. The current president of Ireland, Michael D. Higgins, turns 80 today. He's the current president of Ireland right now. 1962, Jeff Dunham, a famous American comedian and ventriloquist. He's really funny. I heard a lot of his stuff on Comedy Central. It's really good. And that's on this day. We lost the great Italian professional wrestler Bruno Sammartino, a legend in the wrestling world. All right. 8:01 a.m. We're going to go to the next program, Bread of Life, coming up after the news. So thank you, everyone, for listening today.
Thank you, Steve.
And thank you, Steve, for being on today. Okay, we are going to the news, and we will be, after the news, going to Bread of Life. So, have a great week, everybody. Oh, I forgot to play my outro, but it's all right. I forgot to play my outro, but that's okay. That's fine.
Steve, you still there?
You still there, Steve?
Oh, right. Hey, Steve, thanks for staying for the hour. That's really nice of you to do that.
No problem, Don. I'm really glad you like the record.
Yeah.
Great. I'm glad you're doing